News Talk 640 WFNC. On screen right now is J. Vernon Peterson. And, Mr. Peterson or J. Vernon, I'm going to call you J. Vernon. Is that okay with you?
That's fine.
You were here yesterday because we had originally scheduled to come on the show yesterday. Then all heck broke out with the weather.
Sure.
And it was going to be an awkward thing to talk about closings and icings and lions and tigers and bears and talk about the seriousness of this story and what happened to your great niece in Charlotte. Now you say, well, this happened in Charlotte. Why are we talking about this? Because there is a Fayetteville connection, Cumberland County connection. Surmise for us, just in a nutshell, what happened to Dominique Moody, who was 6 years old.
Well, I hardly know where to start, but
Well,
simply...
let's start here in Cumberland County. The fact that what's the connection to her and Cumberland County?
Dominique was born here in Cumberland County. Her birth mother lives here. All of her blood family is here in Cumberland County, and the custody issue started with Cumberland County Social Services.
Okay, and she died in Mecklenburg County.
She did.
All right, and how did she get from Cumberland County to Mecklenburg County?
The guardian lives in Mecklenburg County, lives in Charlotte. When the mother gave up custody, the guardian took her to Charlotte, where they lived.
And is the guardian a relative as well?
She is a relative by adoption. The birth mother was adopted into this family, and the birth mother, Ikea McKnight, felt because of some issues that her baby daughter would be better off with that family in Mecklenburg County, in Charlotte.
And give us a sense of what happened during the course of, how long ago was this?
This was in December. Dominique died December 16. I had not known of Dominique until my nephew called to tell me that his granddaughter died in Charlotte. I thought perhaps the child died of natural causes. And when I got more information, when I read a story, I found out that this little one was tortured and murdered.
Now, I have with me here a synopsis of the story that was done by WBTV. They did a fantastic investigation into the transfer of Dominique from Cumberland County to Mecklenburg County, and the lack of care and lack of follow-up that was made by the Mecklenburg County Department of Social Services in terms of the welfare of this child who wasn't going to school. And there is a connection between your family and a funeral parlor, or someone had to see the child and they didn't believe what they saw when they saw the body.
That is correct. As I said, my nephew had called to say that his granddaughter passed away in Mecklenburg County. I'm the owner of Unity Funeral Services here in Fayetteville, so it was pretty natural that they would call me to help lay her to rest. But I was shocked by what we found. The medical examiner told us that this was one of the worst cases that he had seen.
Cases of what?
Cases of neglect. The child had bruises from head to toe. She had been bitten by rodents and roaches. She simply was not cared for. She had ligature marks on her arms. She had been taped inside of a dog crate. She never went to school being 6 years old. She was only 27 pounds. She was emaciated. It was a sad sight to see. And just to see a 6-year-old who is only 3 feet tall, her growth had been stunted by the care or the lack of care that she got by the guardian there in Charlotte.
It was amazing for me to read the story, but then also to see the work that WBTV did in terms of tracking down records that showed that there was several calls by law enforcement to the house, and the welfare of the child was just not taken into consideration. Talk about that a little bit, and you're concerned about that lack of care.
Well, what we later learned was that the police was called to this home 50 times in 5 years. And the home was, for the better word, looked like a ramshack place. The police observed rats and roaches scurrying throughout the place. The place had no central heat. There were holes in the walls. There was simply filth everywhere, human and animal feces throughout the home. Dominique has a younger sister, 10 months old, who did go to school, but she missed several days, 20-some days, the report says, that she missed in school. And the teachers were concerned about her health and well-being. They were concerned about her hygiene. And for 20-some days, she had not shown up to school. So they were concerned. The system failed in a number of ways.
Now, were the sisters at the same home in Charlotte?
Yes.
And what did the report show in terms of how much the Department of Social Services followed up after, I guess, the adoption was made? Or is it clear-cut? You make the adoption, the child's yours, and we don't care anymore?
Youth and Family Services did do a report. They did a review. I'm not sure they visited the home, but not until December 16, 2025, did we really know what was happening inside the home or what was not happening inside the home. We knew that the children were not given the kind of care that they should have been given. We know now because the younger child told authorities that her sister was punished whenever she, quote unquote, stole food. When she would steal food, they would duct tape her inside of a dog crate. It was just heartbreaking to hear. And finally, I received from the birth mother a juvenile court report that details the lack of care and the neglect that was going on in that home.
If you're just joining us, you're looking at, and we're talking with J. Vernon Peterson. He is the great uncle of 6-year-old Dominique Moody, who was a resident, and most of her family's here in Cumberland County, but through the Department of Social Services in Mecklenburg County was put up for adoption to a family in Mecklenburg County. And she died last year weighing about 35 pounds. 27 pounds after being in, as you hear the description of the home there. Jay Vernon, we're going to continue with our conversation with you in just a few seconds here and try to get to the bottom of what the family would like to see happen. But first, we're going to take a little break and check out local news with CBS 17.
Good morning from the CBS 17 newsroom. I'm Bill Young. A woman and her 2 grown children are dead after a shooting in Fayetteville. The suspect is in the hospital with multiple stab wounds, charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. This played out Sunday night at a house on Sumac Circle off Hope Mills Road. Police say Sherry Smith and Najah Lewis got into a fight at Smith's house. That's when neighbors say they heard several gunshots. Police arrived to find Smith, her son Aaron Poole, and her daughter Amanda Smith all shot. Sherry Smith and Poole died at the scene. Amanda died at the hospital. Police say that Lewis had been stabbed multiple times and ran to a neighbor's house for help. Today, most school districts in central North Carolina are operating on a remote, delayed, or closed schedule. Harnett and Moore County schools are remote. Cumberland, Hoke, Sampson, Robeson, and Bladen County schools are on a 2-hour delay. Some good news out of Fayetteville Regional Airport this morning. Despite delays and cancellations on Monday, today everything is fine. However, we know other major airports around the country, like DFW in Dallas, for example, are still struggling after the winter storm. Your mail and deliveries might be running behind as the U.S. Postal Service put out a notice that the winter weather across most of the country could cause a delay. Operations are being adjusted to minimize the impact. And the IRS now accepting tax returns. The agency expects to receive 164 million individual returns this year, most electronically. From the CBS 17 newsroom, I'm Bill Young.
Our Tuesday morning has started out very cold, but we will warm up this afternoon with mainly sunny skies and a high temperature in the low 40s. Overnight will be partly cloudy with a low of 22, and Wednesday will be partly cloudy with a high of 43. This week is going to stay chilly with high temperatures only in the 40s and mornings well below freezing. There is, however, another chance for some snow on Saturday. It is too early to talk about possible accumulations, but of course, we'll keep you updated. That's your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunzing.
All right, Rachel, thank you so much. Right now, we've got 19 degrees in Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, and also in Spring Lake. You're listening to News Talk 640. We're WFNC.
This report is sponsored by Super Sure.
Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure. Not kind of sure, not pretty sure, not a little sure, but super sure. The seismic shift is coming. Super sure, coming soon.
Cumberland County's hometown news and information source. News Talk 640 WFNC. Stream online at WFNC640am.com. Anytime, anywhere.
The American Red Cross is facing a severe blood shortage, and donors are needed right now to make sure life-saving care isn't delayed for accident victims, surgery patients, and those facing critical treatments for cancer and chronic blood disorders. The Red Cross blood supply has dropped about 35% in recent weeks. There's no time to wait. Make an appointment today to give blood by using the Red Cross Blood Donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your donation. Take action and help save lives.
It's getting chilly in the Carolinas. If your heat isn't cutting it, don't wait. Call Bass Air Conditioning and Heating now. For a limited time, get a system check for just $59. Or check out our low monthly payment options and huge rebates on new HVAC systems. Free estimates, second opinions, and fast installs from the team trusted for over 70 years. When you're cold or sweaty, call Bass. We're ready.
Bass Air Conditioning. We're your comfort guys.
When was the last time your CPA brought you a strategy that dramatically saved you taxes? This is Roger Harris, president of Whitehorse Financial. The 2 biggest robbers of wealth are debt and taxes. Our team of tax attorneys and tax planners help successful people legally pay less tax. If you have over $1 million in retirement accounts, or you're selling a business or real estate, we may be able to help. Call 910-339-2625 for a 15-minute discovery call, or visit whitehorse-financial.com.
Attention Lumberton, this is a used car liquidation event notice. 1 week only. One exclusive lot host location, Lumberton Honda. Prices are cut, inventory is overloaded, and vehicles are being liquidated on site for 1 week only. Hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs are marked to move. Imports, domestics, late model Hondas, certified rides, gas savers, family haulers. If it has 4 wheels and it's done a lot, it is priced to go. Bad credit, no credit. Our lenders are locked in and ready today. Bring that trade in, push it, pull it, tow it. We want it, and we'll give you top dollar for it. Hundreds of cars, liquidated on site. Insane savings. 1 week, one shot. The New Year used car liquidation coming to only one location, Lumberton Honda, exit 22 off I-95. Doors open early. Deals end Sunday. Offer with approved credit. Trade value must be determined with visual inspection. See dealer for complete details. Expires 1/31/26.
Good morning, Fayetteville with Gilbert Bays on WFNC News Talk 640 AM and now on 103.5 HD2.
News Talk 640 WFNC. I tell you, Vernon Peterson and I have been talking in between while the commercials were playing about the death of his, I'm going to just say your great niece.
That's fine.
Because there's a bunch of greats in there, but that's okay. The fact that she's family. And she's gone. 6 years old. Dominique Moody, who would have turned 7 recently, I guess.
Yes.
6 years old. Was put up for adoption. Was originally here in Cumberland County, and she ended up in Mecklenburg County. If you're just joining us here and missed a part of the story, I'm just trying to surmise it very quickly for you. Neglected, left in a dog cage, not enough food to survive on, and eventually died. Well, what did the coroner say the cause of death?
The medical examiner's report is pending, so we don't have a final cause of death. There are some horrifying things that we found out from the medical examiner, although the report is not final, that Dominique was burned post-mortem. And that means that this child, after she died, probably around December 16, was tortured, even in death.
So they were trying to burn the body to get rid of the evidence, or this is some just specific burns on parts of the body?
We believe that the burn was to see if she would respond, because on December 16 is when paramedics were called because Dominique was not being responsive. And it's just a guess that they put a lighter or something to her to see if she would respond. But she had expired by then.
Jay Vernon, are you a mortician, a funeral director here in Fayetteville?
I am.
Okay, and so you've seen some gruesome things over the course of your lifetime. You viewed the body. Your thoughts when you saw it?
Yes, and I also teach in the funeral service education program at Fayetteville Tech. I've seen a lot of things because we also used to do the 911 calls here in Cumberland County. So we've seen a lot of stuff. But rarely do we see instances where children are uncared for, children who are neglected. That's perhaps the hardest thing to see. And even after we had Dominique in our care, to see her little body with the marks, the bruises on her face and body was simply heartbreaking that somebody would do a child this way. Like I said before, the medical examiner was nearly speechless. My worker, when he saw the body, broke down. It's just unbelievable how this young one lived through hell.
You know, the story reminds me of the one we covered at WRAL when it was Avante Devon, London and Blake Devon were killed 20 years ago. years ago, and no one knew that the children were dead. There was a breakdown there, and many say, in the Department of Social Services, lack of care or follow-up on where are these children. As you mentioned, Dominique was not even going to school, and she should have. And it should have been some type of mark there because of the fact that her younger daughter was in school. Since this story broke, there are 3 people who have been charged in this case in Mecklenburg County. Sue Robinson, Tanya McKnight, and Taryn McKnight. They all first faced charges in the death of the child?
Yes. Tanya McKnight is in Mecklenburg County under a $2 million bond. The other 2 are without bond.
And who was the person that was given guardianship in terms of the adoption of Dominique?
That was Tanya McKnight. And I'm only here to give Dominique a voice because I'm sure that there are other children in the system who are suffering, and Dominique's death should not go in vain. I'm here simply to sound the alarm that the system failed Dominique and should not fail any other children in our state.
When you talk with family members who are still here, what do they say about this case?
Most are speechless, cannot believe that this would happen. We've had other children in our family who have been raised by aunts and uncles and other people in the family, but never have we had a case such as this. This is unbelievable. Anybody you talk to are simply stunned by this.
I have a picture of Dominique on the screen now on our podcast. So if you want to know what this little girl, it's a picture that I believe you sent me. Just a beautiful young lady, 6 years old, less than 3 feet tall, and 27 pounds at her death. Mm-hmm. It is hard to even imagine that would be the case for any child. And you make a good point because this is just probably the tip of the iceberg in terms of what is happening with some kids who may even put up for adoption or whatever it might be and not being taken care of. And then on the other hand, I don't want to leave this picture that adoption is terrible. There are kids who are adopted who are being taken care of wonderfully, and the system works fine for them. So this is not a gloom and a doom, shut down adoptions because they don't work. That's not at all. As a matter of fact, there is just a record need for adoptive parents to step forward because of the amount of kids who are up for adoption. But as you said, you want to make sure that Dominique Moody has a voice and her death is not in vain. So you're sharing, again, some very gruesome details about what happened to this little girl, only 6 years old, about to turn 7. And this just happened last year. Its origin is here in Cumberland County, and unfortunately, it began here and it ended in Mecklenburg County with 3 women charged in her death.
That's right.
Again, as you talk with other family members around here who knew of Dominique, what are they saying?
Well, most of us really did not know of Dominique, and I didn't know of Dominique until her death. But the story is what is horrifying, and there are so many questions of why didn't somebody ask one of us? And the story for everybody is simply unbelievable. Everybody is stunned. And when they hear the story, they are enraged. So again, we're here to give Dominique a voice because otherwise this child would have been loved and cared for. We're not familiar with the people in Mecklenburg County and Charlotte. we have no connection with the McKnight family. My nephew's daughter was adopted into the McKnight family, and her mother thought, because of some of her own needs, that the child would have been better off with the McKnight family. And, well, now we see what the result is.
You know, again, I'm reading part of the report that was done by the station up there, and it is heartbreaking. Susan Robinson. And as I'm reading some of the report here, it suggests that Dominique Moody was forced to watch them eat. They had plenty of food in the house, the little girl. Tanya McKnight does not feed her every day, even though the house had plenty of food. She also advised that Dominique Moody is forced to sit in her soiled, urine, feces-filled diapers for days and days and cause extreme rash on Dominique's genitals and buttocks. The abuse and neglect was reported to have occurred for about 1.5 years. And this is hard to just imagine that this could go on for that long.
We believe that the abuse lasted longer. When we look at her little body, we see ligature marks that had to be there for at least 5 years. So this is not something that happened a couple of months ago, 6 months ago, or a year ago. This has been going on almost all of Dominique's life.
Well, again, you came in yesterday, Jay Vernon, to talk about this, and you can see why it probably wouldn't have been appropriate when we're talking about ice and snow and all that stuff, and I appreciated your understanding to come in today and share this story, which has its origins and family members here in Cumberland County, and unfortunately, tragically ended in the death of Dominique Moody in Mecklenburg County.
Yes.
Our prayers are with your family and with your continued fight to make sure that Dominique's death is not in vain. And that's why I wanted to give you a platform to share the story here, even though the charges and everything are happening across the state in Mecklenburg County.
We certainly appreciate your time. We will lay Dominique to rest on February 7th. We had to postpone the services because of the weather. But we want anyone who cares to come out and show support.
Where is it going to take place?
It will be in our chapel, Unity Chapel at Cliffdale, 1037 71st School Road in Fayetteville, February 7th at 1 p.m.
All right. Jay Vernon, thank you so much for coming in and sharing this heartbreaking story with us.
Thank you.
All right. You're listening to News Talk 640 with WFNC. We've got Fayetteville's most dependable forecast with Rachel Dunsane.
Our Tuesday morning has started out very cold, but we will warm up this afternoon with mainly sunny skies and a high temperature in the low 40s. Overnight will be partly cloudy with a low of 22, and Wednesday will be partly cloudy with a high of 43. This week is going to stay chilly with high temperatures only in the 40s and mornings well below freezing. There is, however, another chance for some snow on Saturday. It is too early to talk about possible accumulations, but of course, we'll keep you updated. That's your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
All right, thank you, Rachel. Right now, we've got 23 degrees. Temperatures moving up. Fayetteville, Hope Mills, and also in Grays Creek. You're listening to News Talk 640. We're WFNC.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger.